The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It was a big bounce-back day for the New York Jets offense based on all the reports coming out of training camp. Someone who was there, Nick Faria, is going to join us to break down what he saw during today's practice. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
There goes my hero.
Oh,
As he goes.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Before we get started, a reminder that if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. It is free. You click that subscribe button on the right-hand side, and you can help me reach my goal of getting to 40,000 subscribers before the Jet season gets underway in week 1 out in San Francisco. Nick Faria is going to be joining us to break down the state of affairs with the Jets. Before we do that, a huge reminder. Tonight, I'm hosting nationally on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Stay up late with me, 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Will Parkinson's going to join me in the 12 a.m. hour around 12:30. So we'll do plenty of Jets talk on the show tonight. Going to talk about the Yankees sweeping the Phillies. Plenty of other storylines involving the NFL. You got the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. And I also want to plug my other radio shift I'm doing later this week. Friday morning, wake up with me. I'm hosting DiPietro and Rothenberg with Maria Marino from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. So national tonight till 1 a.m. Morning drive on Friday, 6 a to 10 a. Looking forward to interacting with all the Asmaniacs who call in and, of course, make yourself a part of the show. Joining us right now is someone who's been on the show a bunch. He's joined me on the radio. He joins me on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria is on the show. Hello, Nick.
how's everything going, Jake?
Nick, I'm doing well. I know you just got back after a busy day at the Jet facility in Florham Park. All the reports that we saw, including yourself, was basically like, wow, the offense on fire today. Aaron Rodgers throwing a touchdown. Seemingly every other tweet was another touchdown to Garrett, a touchdown to Corley. Wheel route to Breece throwing a touchdown. You were there. Let's start with the offense. What did you see? Break down why Aaron Rodgers and this offense looks so good.
What I saw fireworks the entire time. It was just firework after firework after firework. No, but ultimately, I think the one thing we all have to take into context is that Michael Carter, the slot corner extraordinaire, did leave practice very early. And after that injury, which was like the second or third play of the practice, the Jets offense completely dominated. You had Breece Hall coming out of the backfield looking great. Rodgers was just surgical in the red zone, whether it was to Garrett Wilson, whether it was to Malachi Corley or Breece Hall, like we said. And remember, the other piece to this is, yes, Michael Carter wasn't available on defense, but Allen Lazard wasn't really taken a part of team late in practice. The Jets told us later that he was working on a hamstring injury. It wasn't serious, but they just wanted to be overall cautious with the veteran receiver. So that's without his number 2 and number 3 wide receivers, and he was still able to throw 6 touchdowns on our count. So he was fantastic. The offensive line was really, really good once again, even though Tyron Smith did not participate, even though they were rotating in a bunch of guys left and right. The offense was a surgical machine today. A lot of it has to do with Rodgers. A lot of it has to do with Garrett Wilson. But we'd be remiss if we weren't talking about Malachi Corley, because this was easily his best day as a Jet to this point. He had 3 total touchdowns. One was a touchdown catch to Aaron Rodgers. the highlight is actually up on the Jets Twitter page right now if you guys want to watch it. He had another run that went for 6, and he also caught a screen pass from Tyrod Taylor that also went for a touchdown. So Corley was all over the field. He kind of showed exactly the type of the packages that he is looking to get with the Jets to start this season. Certainly today, if the last couple of days are won by the defense, the offense bounced back in a massive way. They were fantastic.
Let's specifically talk about the Carter injury because I'm seeing in the comments here, maybe a lot of people weren't checking Twitter today, weren't aware. So Michael Carter limped off. Saleh did say afterwards, though, Nick, that they don't believe it to be serious. Is that correct?
Correct. It's an ankle injury. They're going to have more information about it probably around Thursday or Friday. We'll know more. They have an off day tomorrow, so most likely Friday we'll know more about that situation. But it didn't seem, and Saleh wasn't really concerned, it didn't seem serious. It was more of just them being overly cautious with a really great and important player on this defense. So make sure he stays out for this practice. Again, July 31st, this is not an important day. This is not an important practice. You have a month to go before the start of the season. You don't have to force Carter to be out here when there are other important practices to come by later on in the preseason. So clearly an overcautious mindset for the Jets. They're right to be doing this. Certainly it sounds like Carter will be back relatively soon.
Obviously, that is very important. And look, if you are going to suffer an injury, I mean, late July is, I don't want to say there's ever a good time, but, you know, if it's a couple weeks here or there, yeah, he's ready to go for the season. You mentioned the play, Rodgers to Corley for the touchdown. The Jets posted it. I pulled it up. I'm going to screen share here so the entire audience can watch it. So this was the throw from Rodgers, and what a catch by Corley. I'll play it a couple times here because you'll notice in the back, Joe Douglas acting as the referee there saying catch, touchdown. Hopefully we see this a lot when the games actually count. But you look at Corley, Nick, I was there on Saturday in person. They used him a little bit out of the backfield. We're starting to see the Jets find a role for Malachi Corley in this offense.
It's a process. And that's what Robert Saleh has been saying. People argue about Saleh as a head coach. They argue about some of the things he says, but he is dead right when it comes to this rookie class. They are not wrong to let these guys develop slowly. Let them get their bearings in practice. Make sure they understand each system before they throw them out there. Corley now looks so much better in just individual work than he does over the last couple of weeks, maybe even last month as well. He looks like a completely different player. And when you have a guy like this who is raw, he is learning the game and learning how to run complex and systematic routes in an offense, you need to be able to be patient. You need to be able to allow him to grow some confidence. And this is the kind of practice that does it. Allowing him to touch the football as often as possible with a play like this in particular. Remember, this is a difficult catch. It's a great throw on a corner route, but the catch, in order for him to understand, to track the ball in a way and then dive just well enough to both get his feet in bounds and also maintain the catch, that is as athletic a play as you're going to see at the wide receiver position and shows this is him now. This is him as a raw athlete. What's going to happen when he puts it all together?
You know, Corley's taking advantage of Lazard basically getting a rest day because he got banged up yesterday with that Chuck Clark hit. Then you look at Xavier Gipson missing some time right now with his injury. All of a sudden, if Corley steps up and starts making plays, Rodgers is going to say, put him out there because I trust him. And Rodgers, as Randall Cobb said on Hard Knocks last summer to the other wide receivers, if you don't trust you, you're not getting the ball. If Rodgers trusts Corley, who we know Rodgers was a big fan of in the pre-draft process, he's going to get a lot of opportunities.
I think it was Bill Belichick one time when they were doing a documentary on Julian Edelman when he was beginning to replace Wes Welker. He said, you ever hear the story of Wally Pipp? And he told it to Welker after Edelman had returned a punt for a touchdown. He goes, essentially, whoever the guy was, he was replaced. Wally Pipp was the guy before Lou Gehrig, gets an injury. Gehrig comes in and becomes one of the greatest baseball players in MLB history. That I'm not saying that Corley is going to be Lou Gehrig, but what I am saying is that availability is an important part of training camp. And the fact that Xavier Gipson, the fact that Allen Lazard, the fact that a lot of these receivers were not available today kind of allowed Xavier Gipson to show that he is not Xavier Gipson, Malachi Corley to show he's capable of running this offense as well and being productive. This could be a situation where, listen, the Jets are really high on Gipson. They are really high on him. I think that he's still safe on the roster. But if it comes down to a final roster spot, they're going to keep Corley in a position to start. And Gibson, after a couple of weeks of not practicing, may be at the point where he's going to have to produce a lot during the preseason.
No doubt about that. And look, as far as some of the other offensive takeaways I wanted to ask you about, I mean, Garrett Wilson just had a day, and I'll probably do a separate video talking about Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers being asked about, their interactions on the sideline that the national media is trying to make an issue, and those guys couldn't be more on the same page. But your thoughts on the Rodgers to Garrett dynamic today, because the red zone was such an issue for the Jets last year. Really everything offensively was, but I mean, to see Garrett cook the way he did in the red zone today with Rodgers, that excites you if you're a Jet fan.
I think it was Rich Cimini earlier today that I said, wow, it's amazing what happens when a four-time NFL MVP takes control of red zone offense, because everything just looks better. And obviously, again, the practice was just over an hour. There wasn't a lot of major team drills where they were operating from the 50-yard line or having to go down the length of the field. I think the defense has shown the ability to stop the offense in that regard, but the red zone is still an important part. The Jets' red zone defense has been one of the best defenses in the National Football League over the last couple of years, and the fact that Rodgers was just picking them apart should be highly encouraging for Jet fans, should be very exciting. And when we talk about the relationship between him and Garrett Wilson, I never really put stock when people were concerned that him and Wilson were arguing on the sideline. To me, when I watched those videos, it sounded like exactly what Rodgers described it as. They are passionate people, and passionate people talk with their hands. They enunciate. They project when they speak. We talk about announcers, Jake, you know this better than anyone. When you are on the air, you are enunciating. You are projecting. You're getting excited. You're getting antsy. That's not wrong. That doesn't mean they hate each other. That doesn't mean they're in an argument. It means that they're trying to get it down now before the regular season begins. So I never really put much stock into it. And Rodgers and Wilson did a great job today just saying, no, we're just talking. We're trying to get on the same page, and we're animated people. If I'm talking with my hands, that doesn't mean I'm yelling at you. It just means that we're trying to find the solution. So they handled it beautifully.
And just hearing Garrett basically say, I feel more comfortable talking with Aaron about the offense, giving my suggestions, telling him certain things that I notice when I'm, running my route. Garrett said, like, a year ago, I was the new guy to him. Like, I haven't established myself yet. Now I feel comfortable, second year in the system, that I feel comfortable going to Aaron and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. So there's more of a give and take, because Garrett Wilson is on that Aaron Rodgers level as far as being one of the best in the league at his position. He couldn't do that a year ago. And other than really probably Tyron Smith, I don't know if there's anyone on that offense that could go toe-to-toe with Rodgers besides Garrett Wilson from like a star power standpoint.
I throw Breece Hall in there as well.
Breece too.
Because, he's just so talented. But there's one play with Wilson I wanted to highlight. It was warm-ups today and I tweeted about it as well, where I couldn't believe what I was seeing, where he's running a fade route and Rodgers, it's clearly warm-ups. There's no defense. There's no real stress. But Rodgers throws a deep ball up to him, and it's clearly overthrown. Clearly is. Wilson, though, tracks it down and just nonchalantly sticks his hand out, catches the pass, and runs down the field to go into the next side of the drill. And I stopped and I said to myself, the fact that he is so fluid, the fact that it looked so natural, where it's just, okay, I'm going to run around. Oh, look at that. I'm overthrown. And I'll speed up a little bit. One hand, thank you. Move forward. There are very few receivers. That have this type of dominance already at their disposal in year three. And certainly when I look at a player like Wilson, the sky's the limit for him. I'm thinking top 5, top 10 receiver, all pro caliber right now, as long as Rodgers is throwing him the football.
Yep. I think any Jet fan who's seen it the last 2 years, like,
it's
we
crazy.
know we got something special. It's just get him competent quarterback play. And forget it. If Aaron's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league, top 10, I mean, look at Devontae's years in Green Bay. That's what Garrett is capable of. Speaking of Rodgers, I want to ask you about the Joe Tippmann center snapping dynamic. There were a couple more high snaps today, but based on everything I saw, you could tell us it was a lot better as far as the snaps go. Rodgers afterwards was asked about Joe Tippmann's snapping problems, and he said, quote, he's got a chance to be an all-pro. If he's snapping the ball a little wayward from time to time, he could take me jumping on his ass. So once again, Like Rodgers is going to hold everyone accountable. We know he thinks the world of Tippmann. They're calling him a future All-Pro. What were your thoughts on Tippmann today and just those comments from Aaron as well?
He was a lot better. And I think the context needs to be added with centers nowadays is because they're being asked to do so much. They're being asked to make checks at the line of scrimmage. They're asked to pick up blitzes. And they're also asked to move downfield whether it's pulls or stretch plays. Centers, 20 years ago, they weren't asked to do that. This really kind of changed once Jason Kelce was drafted and sort of became the All-Pro that he was over the last decade. But ultimately with Tippmann, the snaps looked a lot better today. And his biggest problem right now, I call it the yips, because he's not only learning the offensive system and learning to snap to Aaron Rodgers, which is different than learning to snap to Zach Wilson, but he's also in a position right now where he's got to be able to snap the ball, get his hands up, and block some really good defensive players, whether it's Quinnen Williams, Javon Kinlaw, or blitzes coming in from Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley. There's a lot that he's working on. And the fact that there are high snaps, I don't think is really concerning. I really chalk it up as, like I said, I think it's the yips, because he just needs to learn how to get his hand back faster and more efficient without sacrificing the snaps. But a lot of people seem to think that this is a unique situation for the Jets. It's not. Jason Kelce went through this. I can speak to this more than anyone else here. He went through this for years. Last season alone, he had at least 6 aborted snaps where the snap was just horrific overall. So I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. It doesn't sound like the Jets feel it's going to be much of an issue. It's just something that needs to be figured out, and it eventually will.
Rodgers and Tippmann getting on the same page. That's what you want to see. Rodgers and Garrett Wilson continuing to build their chemistry. That's what you want to see. You brought up Breece Hall. We got to talk about him. I mean, he could be such a weapon for this team in the red zone, especially. I think it was twice today I saw different reporters note a wheel route, getting Breece free for a big play, a touchdown. Your thoughts on what you've seen from Breece, not just today, but so far this summer?
The Jets are doing a great job with him. And I don't just mean putting him on the field in certain situations. They're also taking him off the field. With Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, a lot of these running backs that have now entered the team, they're getting a lot of play time, and rightfully so. They've looked really, really solid. But it allows Breece Hall to get more of a breather than he has had in recent years. And I think it's so important to keep him fresh late in the season when it gets colder. When MetLife Stadium becomes just this awful stadium to play on, and every single time you get hit, it's like falling on concrete, that's going to be a big part. You want to keep Hall as fresh as possible. And the fact that they are doing so, taking him in and out of team drills, making sure that he's 100%. I don't remember the last time he was in 2 consecutive plays on offense for that first team. So it's an incredibly important part to his development that he's able to do this. The other side of the coin, of course, is the fact that, yes, when he's on the field, he's dominant. Caught 2 touchdowns today on wheel routes, completely burned Quincy Williams on one of them, was wide open for another. I've said before, you're looking at a 2,000-yard season for him, combined yardage. I stand by that. I think he is just on the precipice of something fantastic. And really, it's going to be between him, Christian McCaffrey, and Saquon Barkley for the 3 best running backs in the league right now.
Love that. Comments, questions for Nick Faria? Super chats, we'll cut the line. We'll get to those. Anything Jet-related that you want to ask Nick? He's been at all the practices. He was there earlier today where, if you're just tuning in, the Jets offense had by far and away their best practice of the summer, which is great because the last 2 days the defense won the day. And typically that happens this time of year when the pads first come on. And I think that's kind of the greatness of this roster, right, Nick? Like any given day, one unit could dominate the other. That's a testament to the talent on both sides of the ball.
I never really get worried too much in training camp. You saw last week, everyone was worried. Oh my God, the pass rush isn't getting home. They're not getting pressure on Rodgers. What's going on? Hassan Reddick, all these are problems. And then a week after, we're talking about how the pass rush actually looks pretty damn good. And then it's, well, the offensive line, it's not good enough. What are we going to do? Breathe. They look so much better than last season. The entire team looks so much better than last season. The offense is winning days now where they weren't last season for at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks it took them to really get their bearings in and have one good practice. They've had 4 by my count to this point through 7. So I think this team has looked solid. If you're thinking that this is a Super Bowl caliber roster, all the last few days have shown is that your opinion is probably right. This is an insanely talented team that doesn't have the entire offense or defense at their disposal right now, and it makes them so incredibly dangerous.
We are always looking for channel members on the show. Bobby Midnight is the first to gift a channel membership, and it went to Lucky Luke, who is now an official Asmaniac. We're about 35 away, Nick, from our new emoji, and you've watched the show. You've been on a bunch. We have a guy, just a legendary caller. He always calls us from the office. His name is Dre. The Dre emoji is ready to roll as soon as we get another 35 channel members. Maybe we could hit that at some point during today's show. Comments, questions, super chats for Nick. I want to get to this question here from Jeff, who writes in, is there a clear-cut wide receiver number 4 or 5 emerging?
Well, no, and I think that's what makes things so interesting. And when we talk about wide receiver 4 or 5, we really need to be fair. It's actually kind of 5 and 6. We know that Malachi Corley, Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson, and Mike Williams, these guys are safe on the roster for 2024. We know those guys are making the 53-man roster. The last 3, though, kind of 4 are up in the air. Malik Taylor, Jason Brownlee, Xavier Gibson, and Irv Charles. Irv Charles, of course, has the powers of being the special teams ace on this roster, but obviously Gibson is a returner. He had a solid year as a returner last season. Brownlee and Taylor have looked really good in camp. So to me, there is no clear-cut winner for wide receiver 5 right now. If I was a betting man, I certainly think that Gibson's probably going to be that 5th guy to this point. But if Taylor continues to play the way he has, there's no reason to think why he can't be that guy. And the conversation then turns to, okay, are they keeping 6 wide receivers or just leaving it at 5?
The memberships are flying off the shelves. KND with a 10 spot. Oh, baby.
Money, 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 money.
Love this from KND. William Turowitz, Franco Agostini, Sexy Rexy for Life, Jet the F Up, Stephen NYC, Stephen T, Aaron Vargas, Salvatore Nocera, Mike Dems, who joined the Patreon the other day, Esteban Roman. You guys are all channel members, courtesy of KND. KND also had a super chat. He says, salute my guy. Nick, what's the word? What would the Jets offense rank this season? So it's a good question by King and Dreams here, Nick. If obviously the prerequisite, we know health, Rodgers, all that, where can this offense actually rank this year? Because the Jets have had a top 10 offense in my lifetime, I think twice. And one of them was 98, and I was very little. So I really would like to get your thoughts on where this offense could actually rank in the league this year.
Well, everyone knows me as the positive guy on the Jets beat. I'm going to stoke the flames even more. There's no reason to think that this offense can't be top 5. Talent-wise, top to bottom, I think the Eagles, 49ers, Chiefs, maybe the Bengals, Texans around there. Those are the teams right now that I think are just better overall in terms of the talent level across the board right now over the Jets. But other than that, there's really no issue to think that this offense can't be a top 5 group. They have the weapons offensively. They've got an offensive line that is steadily improving and steadily getting healthy. The sky's the limit, really, at this point of the offseason.
I think top 10 is should be the goal, right? Top 10 offense.
Should be the requirement, yeah.
Like the bare minimum, they should be a top 10. If they're top 5, though, with this defense, that's why they're a Super Bowl level team, because they have a top 5 defense that's been proven. If Rodgers elevates this offense to the top 5, you're one of the best teams in football.
It's just look at the math, compare the rosters. You can't tell me right now that the Jets have a worse offensive roster than a team like the Ravens or a team like, I don't know, I'm throwing names out there, the Dallas Cowboys, these kind of teams that are really talented and really good, but do they have the level of depth? Do they have the star power across the board? No.
The 1998 Jets, I just looked it up, the best team, regular season team in franchise history from a wins perspective, 12-4 in the regular season, after an 0-2 start. Oh, by the way, before they made the quarterback change the Vinny. The Jets defensively were second in points allowed, 16.6 a game. They were 5th in points scored per game at 26. Now, obviously, 26 in today's NFL is a lot different, but to put it in perspective, so they were top 5 in both, and they were 12-4 after the 0-2 start. They were better than a 12-4 team had Vinny started all year. That's the level of team they could be if Aaron is Aaron.
It's just, when I look at Aaron Rodgers, when a quarterback gets to 40 years old, you look for the arm to start going. You look for mistakes to start being made. Father time kind of showing himself, essentially, is what you look for. And you haven't really seen that from Rodgers at this point. The arm strength's still there. The accuracy is still there. Yes, he's been late on a couple of throws, but you would kind of chalk that up to miscommunication more than anything else and working on the timing. They're really solid, man. And this isn't hyperbole. This isn't blowing smoke up everyone's butt. This team looks really, really good right now. And the fact that both sides are winning almost every other day kind of shows that as well.
Yeah, I agree with you in that regard. King and Dreams, I think you fired him up, man. 5 more memberships. He super chatted it too. Nick talking that bleep. Let's go, KND. How about 5 memberships, baby?
Money, 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 money.
All right, here we go. If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. Joe Rano, Austin S., Jet Up Buttercup, Carl Clark, Andres Maximus 28. Congratulations to everyone who just received a free channel membership from King and Dreams.
Jake, really quick, let me just bounce off really quick for like 30 seconds. I just got to get my computer charger from my bag.
You're good. We'll take a quick break with Nick right here, which is perfect because it gives me an opportunity to talk about today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. I'm in an awkward spot with Underdog, right? I love Underdog. They've been an unbelievable supporter of my channel for a year already. And I have my promo code. You guys know it. So many of you have used it, and I'm grateful for that. Promo code Asman if you haven't signed up yet. But Underdog's putting me in a tough spot. Did you see who they hired today? Did you see who I'm technically, I guess, a coworker with now? Bill Belichick. You guys see this? Belichick got hired to do content for Underdog Fantasy. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out from my sources who Belichick is picking, and we're going to do the opposite. All right? He might be my coworker. It doesn't mean I have to like him. So if you want to fade Belichick, once I figure out how we're going to do that, promo code ASMA to sign up for Underdog Fantasy today. They're going to give you a 50% deposit match up to $250. Start drafting your daily fantasy teams for football. You could set it and forget it, your lineup with their best ball. You also have their daily pick'em where you can mix and match any sports and go higher or lower on any players. Points, hits. I take the Aaron Judge is going to walk underdog slip every day seemingly because that continues to cash. Let's go Yankees, by the way. Shout out to DJ LeMahieu for showing a post. I did not have that with my underdog picks today, but you get the point. Belichick's a coworker of mine. I don't know how to feel about this, but if you want to fade his picks, we can. Promo code Asman to sign up. Underdog Fantasy. Get yourself some underdog picks for the Olympics, football, basketball, you name it. They have it all at Underdog Fantasy. We bring Nick Faria back with us right now. Nick, is the computer charger ready to roll?
Ready to go.
Here we go. This one is from Purple Belt Mike with a super chat. Am I the only one that sees elite greatness out of Stiggers? From my eyes yesterday, he has the best footwork on the team. Corley is him, by the way. Hashtag Jet Up. Your thoughts on Quantz Stiggers so far, Nick?
He's been a great surprise. Let's pump the brakes on him a little bit. That's all I'll say. Let's be fair to him as a 5th-round corner. He's looked really, really good, and he makes a lot of great plays on the ball. He got toasted today against Garrett Wilson. Just absolutely toasted in red zone. And again, this is not a bad thing. This is not me saying that he's been bad. He's been very, very promising, but he needs some more development. I think it's safe to say that he'll need a year of development before he gets thrown out there on a football field and shows that he can be a competent starting cornerback. Do I think he will be? Do I think he's the replacement to DJ Reed? I think so. He's looked that good to this point, but in 2025, not in 2024.
Right. I think that's totally fair. And look, he's someone they're high on. He's someone that if he had a conventional path, probably would have gone a lot higher than the 5th round.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. He has the conventional path. He's probably a 3rd or 4th rounder. But even then, I look at it and say, okay, really, really talented, great ball skills, great footwork. He's getting used to NFL speed. He's getting used to NFL routes, NFL defenses. And that means, right now, if you were to play the field for the Jets, he's playing opposite Sauce Gardner, which means he's going to get targeted a lot. Probably not the best situation for him. I think the Jets should be very comfortable playing DJ Reed and Michael Carter and saying, we're good, allow him to develop. Derek Bernard Converse as well has had a really good start to training camp. if you're looking at the future of the Jets' safe cornerback room and secondary room, and JBC and Stiggers are the two guys along with Sauce Gardner, sky's the limit again for the group, and you've got them all on rookie deals.
Carmen Rulo with a $10 super chat. Thank you for wishing my wife, Marilyn, a happy birthday. Carmen, I hope it was a great birthday for your wife. Thank you so much for being a big supporter of the show. I truly appreciate it. First Day Jets has a question. Olu running with the ones today. How did it go? Also, can you follow up on just the offensive line depth as a whole so far, Nick?
Yeah, so Fashanu has been solid. And quite frankly, I'm a little surprised at how good he looks against the run. That was his one piece of work that he needed to work on throughout training camp. It was kind of a concern for other teams. It's why he dropped all the way to the 11th overall pick. But so far, he has looked really, really good to this point. And I think if he's drafted by any other team that doesn't have Tyron Smith, doesn't have an all-pro left tackle in front of him, he's probably the starting left tackle week one. He's looked that good and that consistent. The offensive line depth as well, I think, is very important, and it looks really solid as well. John Simpson is someone who many Jet fans weren't really moving the needle for in free agency. He was really the first one that the Jets had signed in the free agent market, but he's looked really good. He's actually stymied Quinnen Williams a couple of times where I said, oh, wow, that's a good block. Really good run blocker, has looked really solid in pass protection. He's not perfect. He's lost a bunch of times to Quinnen Williams, but he's given the all-pro defensive tackle all that he can handle. The depth along the offensive line this year is so much better. It certainly will help this team going into 2024, where they have trust in some of these guys to at least be competent should they be forced into action for 2024.
You know, it's interesting. I feel really good about the tackle depth because even Carter Warren has played pretty well. Like today, they're having this dominant offensive practice, and Carter Warren was the right tackle. Olu was the left tackle. I'm way more concerned about the interior depth if there's an injury there than I am the tackle depth. Obviously, Tyron Smith, you hope he plays 13 games. You time for that now, but I feel comfortable with Olu. I think Carter Warren is coming along nicely. Remember, he didn't get a training camp last summer because he was hurt. He got a chance to play at the end of last year. He wasn't terrible. There were moments that you could point to and feel encouraged with. Like, to me, the interior is the depth I'm more concerned about at this point than the tackle depth. And think about how different this conversation was a year ago.
Well, I will say, if you're worried about the interior, the one reason why Carter Warren's performance today should make everyone happy is the fact that Max Mitchell has played guard. And he's looked really good in camp. He's been able to stymie the likes of Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens. So ultimately, I look at where the Jets are right now for the offensive line. If your immediate backups are Olu Fashanu, Carter Warren, Wes Schweitzer, and Max Mitchell, that's a pretty solid 9 right there, with the 10th one in a competition between Glazer, Hansen, and Xavier Newman. I think this group's a lot better than it was last season, and they're far more prepared if a doomsday scenario happens again, much like 2023.
The big fella dropping a 5 spot. Folks, we have a big fella emoji. It better be used.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. 5 channel members are being added to the mix. James Caffiero, John Thomas, Ryed Syed, Matt from L5. That's Matt Siegel, the architect behind the L5 tailgate. Aaron Quinones. You guys are all officially channel members. We're about 9 away from the Dre emoji going into the rotation, I believe. I will check that as we continue here. This super chat is from Rye the General, who wants to know, is Brandon Echols practicing or is he on the bubble?
He's practicing. He's practicing. He was on the field today in the slot. I will say his spot is safe. He's the immediate backup should anything happen to Gardner, Reed, or even Michael Carter. They love what they've seen from Jarek Bernard Converse. They've loved what they've seen from Quantz Stiggers. But Echols is still a quality starting caliber cornerback that would be starting on most other teams. So he's fine. His roster spot is safe. The question will be, again, do they keep 5 or 6 corners instead of just, the usual 4 or 5?
No doubt about that. And look, the thing with Echols, like, this guy's made plays when he's had opportunities to play. So if he's your depth, like, you feel pretty good about him for sure.
You're good at the position.
Yep. No doubt about that. I want to ask you about Aaron Rodgers potentially playing in the preseason, whether or not he should, in your opinion. Now, Rodgers was asked today about it, and he said he'll do whatever Saleh wants him to do. I found that to be interesting because I think Rodgers is just saying the right thing there. Like, I think if he went to Saleh and said, I want to play in that last game, I need a drive or two, I think Rodgers would win that dynamic there. I think Saleh would defer to his Hall of Fame QB, rightfully so. But what are your thoughts on the idea of Rodgers being unlikely, according to the head coach, to play in the preseason?
Well, he's right for at least the first 2 preseason games. And again, the question really goes if Rodgers wants to play in the third one. I think we're all above the reproach here. We understand if Robert Saleh had a choice, Rodgers would not be playing. They have 3 joint practices with all 3 preseason opponents. They don't need to throw out their star quarterback who's coming off of an Achilles injury, all that stuff. If Robert Saleh has his way, he's not playing. Robert Saleh doesn't make this call, though. And it's not wrong for him not to make this call. This is not some overstepping value with Saleh and the head coach and all these other problems. If Rodgers wants to play, he will play. If Tom Brady wanted to play, Bill Belichick is saying, okay, he's playing. If Peyton Manning was saying he wants to play, John Fox, Gary Kubiak, they're saying, okay, well, do what the quarterback says. We got to do it. Move forward. So Rodgers can try to deflect this all he wants. He can try to protect Saleh and his image overall. In this particular spot, in this particular setting, it's going to be up to him whether he plays or not in the preseason.
I think it should be, right? Like, if Aaron says I'm good, like, fine. If he's like, I need to play a drive or two just so my first hit is not potentially Monday Night Football week 1, like, I think it's more than understandable.
It's nothing wrong. It's not that saying that this is a bad situation. It's just we all know who makes the final call on that one. It's not the head coach. It's the quarterback.
Yeah, and I think that's how it should be. You know, like,
it's perfectly fair. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. People should listen to the Hall of Fame quarterback. That's the MO right now. If the Hall of Fame quarterback says jump, the response should be, okay, well, how high? That's what should happen. That's what has happened. And it's worked out pretty well for the teams that bring in those Hall of Fame quarterbacks as well.
We have some breaking news here, Nick. Carmen writes in, Jake, sorry, my wife's name is Mary Ann. Not Marilyn. You spelled your wife's name wrong, Carmen. Marilyn or Mary Ann. I guess we're going with Mary Ann here, Nick. What say you?
Oh, man. How do you misspell your wife's name? Like, my wife spells Brittany a little bit. She says it's the simple way, Brittany, but I've seen it spelled Ney, Ni, whatever the hell it is. So there's really no issues about it, but get your wife's name right, man. Come on.
I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, but who am I to judge? Shout out to you, Carmen, for watching the show. Oh, we haven't had one of these in several days. Ladies and gentlemen, a D's Nuts explosion. How about a 10 spot from Mike D's Nuts?
Hey, thank you, Mike D's Nuts. Hey, for another gifted membership. Hey.
Wow, here we go, Leanie.
Is this Mike D's Nuts?
Oh, it is. Here we go. Your boy, Matt P. here for the memes, who I met at training camp last Saturday. Looking forward to meeting more Asmaniacs this Saturday. Jason W. Ross, Logan Tomaszewski. You all are channel members, but wait, there is more as YouTube is slow and not loading the names. Sam Aiken, Tony Fitzy Diddle Cheese, Dub74, Tony DeFilippo Jr., all officially channel members. Now, with these 10 from Mike D's Nuts, we should have enough for the Dre emoji. I will check that momentarily. I did also want to bring this up to you, though, Nick. Tom A. said, Nick did not acknowledge Jake at practice on Saturday. Big timing his fans, ? I will spill the beans. Did you get heckled on Saturday by someone in the crowd?
Wait a minute, hold on. I turned around and said hi.
Yes, eventually you realized it was me, but I don't know if you realized the first couple times, like 10, 15 minutes before that, when you were standing next to our guy, Rich Samini, I was just screaming out, best beat reporter, Nick Faria.
I didn't even hear that.
He's the best.
I didn't even hear that. I will say, though, I was talking to Samini for a while because he actually lives out on Long Island, so we were talking about the drive that both of us have to take. If you said that, I apologize. I did recognize Jake after a couple of minutes. I turned around, I said hi. So I want to set the record straight on that one.
It was pretty funny. Pittsburgh Mike wants to know, is there any specific camp battles that we should keep an eye on? Can't really think of any glaringly obvious ones.
Trying to think. Most of the battles are about backups. What about, the wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 spot, running back 3, offensive line 10, like these kind of guys. Like the Jets are really well off where we kind of know where the starters are going to be at pretty much every position. It's just a matter of where the depth is going to be. Who's going to be the first running back behind Braylon Allen? And I do mean behind Braylon Allen because he's RB2 at this point. Who's going to be the 5th wide receiver? Who's going to be, tight end 3? Is it going to be Kuntz? Is it going to be Kenny Yeboah? There's a lot of those last roster spot questions, but ultimately it's not really that major. I think right now, if you're a Jets fan and you're wanting to see what the team is doing, the one thing you need to worry about is making sure that this battle continues between offense and defense and that the team stays healthy. As long as they stay relatively healthy, it doesn't really matter because the roster battles are pretty much all set.
Completely agree. To me, health beyond anything else is the number one storyline with the Jets. And that's why if they need to rest Tyron Smith multiple times a week, I know he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not worried. I've watched him. I watched him on Saturday mauling dudes. We know he's great.
You need to keep him healthy, specifically Tyron Smith healthy. And the only way to do that is to keep him off the practice field. So the Jets having essentially what's the same practice schedule as the Cowboys had for him, and he played 13 games, which was one of the most games that he's played an entire season. That's what you should be doing. That's what the focus should be on. The Jets, I have no complaints and no concerns of how they've handled their veterans.
Purple Belt Mike writes in, almost 3 hours to get home from practice, but worth it yesterday. He lives on Long Island as well.
So I just want to preface again, it was a long trip. I was talking to Samini. If Jake was commenting and trying to call my name, it was not unintentional. I did turn around and say hi to him when I heard him. Other than that, though, the Jets fans were loud that day, so it wasn't like I could hear them the entire time.
Crowd was into it. Carmen with a super sticker. I still don't know what this means YouTube-wise, but who am I to turn down $4.99, man? That's almost 2 subway rides right there.
God bless.
David wants to know, and last chance to get your questions in for Nick. We'll take a couple of calls with him as well. David wants to know, Nick, with the injuries, have you seen a change in personnel groupings, 11 or 12 or 21?
No, they continue to split these groups. They'll come out in 11. They'll bring in 12. They'll bring in 21. We have seen pretty much every offensive formation you could have for the Jets. Bunch sets, trips right, trips left. The one thing that I've liked a lot about what the Jets are doing is they're using a lot more motion. You're seeing a lot more pre-snap movement, and maybe Aaron Rodgers has never always been a fan of it, but clearly the Jets are trying to move defenders' eyes more, and it's having some success on the field as well with a really talented defense like this one right now.
We got a super chat I want to bring up from Arizona Jet, and I apologize for not seeing it, Arizona. I got buried in the membership bonanza from K&D a little bit earlier. Breece and Garrett win you a fantasy football league. I mean, if you can get both of them, I mean, you're feeling pretty good. If you're playing in a league with a lot of Jet fans, good luck trying to get both of them.
Listen, I'm joining a league this year. I only do one fantasy league a year, and I'm pretty successful with it as well. I've won like 10 of 12 years. This league I'm joining, none of them know about the Jets. None of them are really Jet fans. I intend to stock my team with Eagle and Jet players, and I intend to ride that to a Super Bowl.
I love it. I mean, I went from only doing one league to now all of a sudden I'm in 3 this year. I got my long-time league. Yeah, my long-time league where last year I went from losing in the championship to this past season. I came in last place because name a football player that was injured. I guarantee you I had them on my team. So, by the way, all you Met fans out there, I'm going to be dressing up as Pat the Patriot and going to a Mets game to pay off my loser punishment for coming in last place in my league. August 15th, Mets hosting the Oakland Athletics at Citi Field. 1 p.m. first pitch. I will be there in a Pat the Patriot costume paying off my bet.
August 15th?
Yep.
All right, we have season tickets, so we will be making sure we go to that one. Pat Patriot. Perfect.
1 o'clock game. I'm getting this over with as quickly as we can. Let me see here. This is a good question from Dano, who writes in, was Ferkser at practice? If so, how did he look? Just following up on that too, Nick, with the Jets cutting Bawden, what do you think this means for the fullback role in general?
Yeah, so the fullback role is probably going to be split between a number of different guys, if they even use it at all. Whether it's Isaiah Davis, Jeremy Ruckert ran a lot as the fullback last practice on Tuesday. So I think there's going to be some spots where they try to get Ruckert on the field as much as possible, and that may include some tight end sets. First group, we didn't really see much of him today. I don't think I saw him at all personally, but certainly someone we'll keep an eye on over the next couple of practices.
Yep. Certainly something to keep your eyes on. I'm surprised they cut Bawden, though. I just figured they loved him.
Well, it comes down to, and I think the Packers of old with Rodgers, they loved having a fullback, and Rodgers always liked having a fullback. But eventually, you got to come into the modern world. That's why they're using more motion. They're using more of their top receiver personnel and trying to confuse the defense with pre and post snap movement. That's kind of where I look at it and say, okay, we can argue about what they should be doing here and there, but ultimately, this team looks so much better than last year, much more prepared.
Swamp says, Nick Faria, Jets beat GOAT.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, comments, questions, super chats will continue to cut the line. I want to acknowledge this free Asmaniac super chat from Mr. K. What's up, everyone? Just wanted to say how I went and watched the Yankees spank the Phillies 14-4 the other night, and I loved every minute of it. Well, Mr. K, I'm glad you had a good time. I had a good time watching that. I had a good time watching the Yankees these last 5 games. I can't believe they're back to being the team they were the first 2 months of the season. So I'm in a very happy mood.
Mets and Yankees World Series, maybe?
Yeah. Sign me up. MC Maisie with a super chat. Who's the backup center right now?
It's Wes Schweitzer. I know Jacob Hansen's been kind of the backup, Chris Glazer as well. But God forbid something were to happen to Joe Tippmann, it's Schweitzer that's going to be taking the snaps at center in the next stop.
My director of merch store operations writes in, Nick, what is Nick's favorite item in the merch store?
So I'm getting a shirt and I'm getting something else, Jake. What was it?
I think I forget what I sent you. I know I did send you this exact polo I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, I think the polo, I'm a big polo guy. So I love, obviously I wear polos every single time I go to practice.
You're professional.
I'll probably put on the Jake Asman polo to practice one day. So yes, I think the polo is probably my favorite.
I love it. Good answer. For those who want merch, jakeasman.com. And if you're a Patreon member, you get 15% off. So here's what I recommend for those who are interested in any item in the merch store. Join the Patreon first, because when you save 15%, you're going to save more than the $5 it costs to join the Patreon. So you're basically getting a free Patreon membership. You get all the bonus shows, name in the intro. You get yourself the discount for every item going forward. It's a great deal. That, and you get the show on Apple or Spotify if you want to take the show on the go. Let's keep going here with your comments and questions for Nick before we say goodbye to him. And by the way, I just checked for those who want the Dre emoji added, according to YouTube, I guess some memberships expired during our show. 12 members away from Dre's glorious face being our new emoji that we will add for all the Asmaniacs on YouTube to use. Let's see. Michael with a super chat. He says, Jake, I hope you're burning that Pat the Patriot uni after the Mets game. I'm thinking about burning it, Michael, or I got to be honest, this thing costs like $100 on Fanatics' website. I got to send it back so I can get my money back. I don't want to waste $100, man. So, but I might have to burn it. You're not wrong. Simple Eats with a question. Hey, Nick, how many D linemen would you expect to make the team if you had to do your roster prediction now? Who would be the guys who made it?
Oh, I've been thinking about that. I thought about this the entire car ride home today.
It's hard.
And, it's hard. It's really freaking hard. So I'm going to go through this live for you because I'm still kind of formulating. You've got Hassan Reddick, Will McDonald, Michael Clemens, Jermaine Johnson. Who's the other one? I'm thinking of someone that's eluding me. Anyway.
Clemens?
Sorry?
Did you say Michael Clemens there?
Yes. Reddick, Clemens, McDonald, Jermaine Johnson. Then you have Quinn Williams, Kinlaw, Fotu, and Solomon Thomas. So you're kind of looking for 1 to 2 more spots. You can go with Jalen Holmes, who's looked dominant the last couple of days. Tack McKinley hasn't been at practice recently. We haven't really seen him in team He's another guy that I look at to say, oh, man, he should make the team. You got the undrafted rookies, Eric Watts, Braden McGregor, Leonard Taylor, all have looked really solid. If I'm a betting man right now, though, and the Jets have to make the decision, it's Holmes and probably Tack McKinley that make the list in the final spot, because you can move Michael Clemens and Jermaine Johnson inside on pass blocking downs, and you can trust Kinlaw, Thomas, and Fotu as those guys inside. So ultimately, I think if they keep 10, those are the guys. If they keep anything less, Holmes, Clemens, and everyone else is probably on the chopping block.
Beautiful. All right, couple calls before we say goodbye to Nick. Purple Belt Mike is first up today. What's up, Mike?
Yo, just to jump on what you just said, is there a chance that Clemens doesn't make the team? Because he's been getting pushed around. So I'm like, I don't know if he even makes the team.
I don't see. Here's the thing. It's not to say that he's been pushed around, because he's had some nice moments in the run game specifically. But is he as dominant as John Franklin Myers was? And they're kind of hoping that Clemens replaces that role? No. And right now, if I were a betting man, if it's between McKinley and Clemens, if you're going based on who's the best player right now, it's McKinley. But the homegrown talent side to it certainly adds to Clemens' side as well.
There's one thing about just watching practice and like seeing them on the field. From 3-4 years ago to now, it is night and day. I mean,
it's so much different.
All these kids, they can all start and be on teams. Like we are really loaded. Even the guys that get cut, it's really unbelievable to watch. I was obsessed watching Stiggers' footwork. I've never seen footwork like that. It's unbelievable. He looks like he's like dancing. It's awesome. I love that guy. I think he's going to be great. I do.
You're Stiggers truther. I love it.
Dude. I'm all in on this guy. I was like, this guy is step for step with Sauce on the drills. I was like,
I think Sauce is a little quicker, but yes, he's looked very, very good.
I was like, I like him. I love him. But thanks for what you do, man. Appreciate you.
We love you, Mike. Purple Belt Mike, rocking the Jake Asman Show tank top in Florham Park yesterday. Love to see it. All right, couple more for Nick before we say goodbye. Gary's up next. Gary, what do you got for us?
Hey, what's up, y'all? The general distaste for Mike Clemens amongst the Asmaniacs, I really don't understand. Like, what is he? I know he didn't have a major role last year, and perhaps you could say he took a step back. But like, Big Mike's gonna be just fine. What's with the general distaste? And then I have a question for you, Nick, about Xavier Gipson.
I think this one's first for you, Jake. Why does everyone hate Michael Clemens?
Yeah, what is with this?
I don't know if people hate him, but he wasn't very good last year. I mean, he was known for more things that happen off the field than things that happen on the field, whether it be the thing in Buffalo between him and what's his name, Dawkins, or the, yelling F you at the fans in Cleveland. I thought that was a funny moment, whatever. But I think we just want to see him play better. I don't hate him. I hope he plays well.
Yeah, I mean,
it sounds like
everyone wants him
for Michael Clemens and Zach Wilson. That was a very forgiving answer.
Well, one guy was the second pick in the draft and has ruined my life for 3 years. And then the other guy was like a 4th-round pick,
And Big Mike's a Texan. I got Big Mike's back.
That's the only reason why you like Clemens. He didn't even go to UT. He went to A&M. You should not like him.
He's from Sac City, Texas. That's Big Mike. That's my boy.
Does he know you? Does he know you as the crazy guy with cornbrows?
Yeah, because he was a fan of this show until, I don't know, the last month or so with all these callers. Now he's going to go like Zach Wilson's mom and block you.
What are you going to do?
It's going to happen, right?
Well, the Wilsons used to love the show, and then we got to call it how it is. I mean, that's the bottom line.
So there's two things real quick. Xavier Gipson, you still think he's safe on this team, right? Like, I know they're going to bring Cohen is probably going to make the team, right? Is that kind of your assessment?
Yeah.
Obviously, Lazard, for better or for worse, is going to be on the team. You still think? So
yes.
Okay. So Xavier Gipson is safe. I own a Gipson jersey. I want to make sure he's safe here.
Here's the thing. I'm saying Alan Lazard is safe, and he's looked really, really good. Because he has. He's been.
Lazard's looked good. Okay.
If we're going to be angry about Lazard's first season, we have to be objective in saying he's looked damn good in training camp to this point. Light years better than he did last year as well, even with Rodgers at quarterback. Gibson's tough. I think he's still safe, But if Malachi Corley and Malik Taylor continue to improve the way they have, that roster spot is going to be very difficult for Gibson to keep, because as long as Cohen is still there, I think he's the returner because he's an all-pro returner.
Yeah, that when they took him in and then they drafted the other running back, Isaiah Davis, I'm kind of like doing math in my head. It's like, well, we're kind of running out of spots here for my boy Gibson, but everyone kept telling me, no, he looks good, he's safe. So, I mean, we'll see.
Availability is the best ability.
Then the last thing I want to touch on was Rodgers, and I feel strong about that he should play some in the preseason. He didn't play last year. It's been a year and a half since he's been on the field. Quarterback play has dropped precipitously since we've gone from 4 preseason games to 3, while injuries are up, right? So quarterbacks are playing less in the preseason. They're getting injured more than ever, and they're playing worse than ever. I don't really see an upside.
Is there a study on that?
Yeah, there are. So quarterback average. On which one? Go ahead.
Most quarterbacks on their teams played in the preseason last year. Almost every single one of them. I think
we've gone from 4 games to 3 games is what I'm talking about. Like just decreasing the amount of preseason games. There's less preseason games now than there were 5-10 years ago. That's what.
Yeah, but they're still playing in those games. They only play in one of those games, even when it was 4.
They played in 2. A lot of them played in 3. If you go back to early 2000s, they played in at least 2. The second and third, some played in the first 3.
Yeah, but in the 2010s, it's been completely different, though.
Right, and quarterback injuries have gone up. And quarterback play the last 5 years. Quarterback completion percentage and average yards per completion are the lowest it's been since 2005 last year, right? So it's not helping. It's not
because the offenses are different. Their offenses are throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage now more than ever. You've got Mike McDaniel throwing screens behind the line of scrimmage that go for 15 yards.
No, I agree. You got it. Well, that's per completion. That would bring the average up, not down. But if you have to dumb down the game. You have to lower the level of play, because you're not having a preseason. I agree with that. Like, I just don't see the upside of it. Or quarterbacks getting injured more than ever. And the level of play gets worse every year. So I don't see the upside in it. Like this experiment's not working, like in my eyes. I'll let you respond.
Gary, what it comes down to is does Aaron Rodgers feel like he needs the preseason to get ready for the year? If he says yes, I think they'll let him play a drive or 2. If he says no, he won't play. I think you defer. You're a boxing guy. You defer to your fighter. Aaron Rodgers is the Jets franchise. You defer to what he thinks he needs to get his body ready for year 20 in the NFL.
Was Gary saying that they need to go back to 4 preseason games?
I don't know what Gary was saying. That's why I had to end the call. I couldn't do it anymore.
I'm just confused, because if quarterback injuries are more than they ever have been, does that explain why Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles? It wasn't because they didn't show up in the preseason. It's because they had freak accidents on turf fields. What are we doing? Has nothing to do with the preseason. The preseason has no effect on these injuries.
I don't know. Nick, you have time for one last call?
Absolutely. Throw it at me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we end with one of our best. He's ready.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Nick, you like that one?
Of course.
Do you see anything different with me, Jake, today?
You shaved, Bobby.
Yes, finally. I got that hair off my face. I can't stand beards anymore.
When are you taking a shower? You probably stink.
No, I have to wash under my armpits and my body, so I can't take a shower.
That's a good idea.
I got Old Spice on, so it smells nice. You want to smell my armpits?
I do not. I think you should be using Mando deodorant, though, instead.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The lady says you can put it on anywhere. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Butt cracks and all that stuff.
What's up with your mic? Why do you sound like you're underwater?
No, I don't. Probably. Okay, how's that better?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing something with the mic there, Bobby.
Okay. Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
I want to talk about your Eagles, you know.
All right.
What you think they come in first place this year?
I never give a prediction for my Birds in the regular season. I think they're going 0-17 and finishing in last.
Well, I think they're going to be bad. I think Dallas takes over that spot.
Stop moving the mic.
I'm sorry that. I think they're gonna win. Dallas. I'm sorry. And then my Allen's doing good. I heard, right? Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen. Yes, he's looked really good.
I am a truther of him, right, Jake? I'm a truther.
Bobby, maybe lift the mic up a little bit.
Okay, how's that better?
Right there. Just stop. Right there.
Okay,
Leave it.
I probably had the wrong ankle. Nick, you think I'm crazy, right? I'm from New York originally. So no,
I think you stink, Bobby.
Stinks.
Like you
I
smell.
wear deodorant. You can't smell me.
Like your stench is just it is. I smell it in my apartment here in New York.
Oh, thanks for embarrassing me. Okay, I'm done. Nick, have a good day. Jake, go fly a kite.
Wait, you're done. You're the one. Okay, I guess he's done. I mean, his audio was brutal, and he smells. I mean, what am I supposed to do there, Nick?
I could. It was the immediate. You shaved, Bobby.
We called it this morning, and it's like I have to ask him if he cleaned his room, if he took a shower, if he shaved, if he's elevating his leg because he's dealing with a leg issue right now.
Oh man, that was amazing.
I'm gonna go fly a kite. He's telling me to fly a kite. He asked if I wanted to smell his pits. I think we're even. I'm embarrassing him. Ridiculous. That'll be on the best of the Jake Asman Show, episode 6 or 5. What number are we up to? I gotta look. Anyway, Nick, great job.
Oh,
We've
man.
taken too much of your time today, man. You were awesome. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Where can people find you? He's gone. We'll never find him again. That's it. SAXHBK. The day Bobby turned heel. Pretty much. Doan syndrome. Do you still have spots for your August 7th event? We do, but they are limited. I think we have like 10 left. RSVP Doan syndrome if you're coming out next Wednesday, 1 week from today. Richie and myself. Don Jose Mexican restaurant in East Hanover. It's going to be wild. Also, Bobby, call back in. Let's settle our differences here. Let's see. Mike D's nuts with a super chat. I start my no shave till the end of the year. Super Bowl beard like Quantz Stiggers. Didn't he say he's not going to shave till after the Jets win the Super Bowl? The big fella writes in, Jake, there's only one UT, and that is Big Orange, Tennessee. We go back to Gary right now. Gary, what are your thoughts on the big fella claiming UT as the University of Tennessee?
That's the fake UT. That's like saying South Carolina is the real USC. Everyone knows what the real UT is.
I see.
If I said UT, what school do you think of? And be honest.
Well, I lived in Texas, so to me, it's Texas.
Okay, because that's the real. If like I said USC, what school am I talking about?
Southern Cal.
Okay, right. Like that's something that he's got to do. I get it. He's a Tennessee fan, and I respect that. Joe Milton went there.
Let me ask you a question. I say
Sure.
Gary's wife. What do you think of?
We go, Gary, you need to stop yelling at all your friends about Joe Douglas and all of the Jet stuff. I mean, I am going to leave you for Bobby. Wiggle, beagle, beetle, beetle, beetle. Just let your cornrows down and just stop it already with all of the fighting. It's not worth it. I love Bobby. Wiggle, deagle, 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 deagle.
Good. Someone in the chat said I look like I sell ecstasy in the bathroom of nightclubs. That's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
That is pretty good. Not accurate, though, to be clear.
No, I do not sell ecstasy or anything in the bathroom of any nightclubs. That's for sure. But that's pretty funny.
Gary, I want to relay to you, for you to relay this to your daughter, that the teddy bear we sent to Decker is shipping any day now.
Perfect. She knows she's getting a surprise. She doesn't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, if she's watching the show, I ruined the surprise. So
no, she's not watching it.
All right.
But that I know of. I mean, she might be on hold in the green room. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
How is your nanny doing, by the way?
This is her last week. What is today? Tuesday?
Yep. Or Wednesday.
No, Wednesday. So tomorrow's her last day.
Really?
Yeah, and then because she's in a sorority at Oklahoma, and she has to go back like the Monday, like next Monday for like the sorority stuff. I don't know what they have, but yeah, this is her last week.
All right. Well, Gary, thank you for the time today. You provided a lot for the show.
I try. And I don't understand real quick. I don't understand the complication, right?
Oh.
If the goal is that playing Rodgers in the preseason is not playing him in the preseason is gonna save him. Well, injuries haven't gone down since they started playing less in the preseason. Actually, they've gone up. So I don't understand the benefit of not playing him.
There's no correlation for the starting quarterback playing in the preseason getting hurt versus him not playing in the preseason and he ends up getting hurt anyway. I understand what you're trying to say. The way you explained it made no sense.
I don't see. Okay. I mean, maybe I didn't articulate it well. I didn't see like how else could it have been? There's no correlation. If he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt. It doesn't have anything to do with
I agree with you. And at the end of the day, would you agree if Aaron Rodgers wants to play in the final preseason game, he'll play?
Oh, yeah, he will. And I mean, it seems like Salah, and I've not been a Salah hater. You know that. I've defended him. I said he's not great, but he's not bad either. He seems to be pushing him not to play, which is a concern to me. Like, why are you pushing him not to play?
I wouldn't go that far. I think Salah ruled out the first two. He left the last one open-ended.
Okay. See, I know I like Salah. Okay. I can live with that.
Gary, thanks for the time.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
What a call from Gary. I forgot to take Gary off. We're good. What a call for Gary. 12 channel members away from the Dre Emoji, for those just tuning in. Big Fella says, SEC begs to differ. UT is Tennessee. Texas is Tex. That is true. Since Texas now moved to the SEC, their official label is Tex, and UT remains UT. Also, shout out to Doan Syndrome. I've just been notified that he has RSVP'd to attend our event on August 7th. Congrats, Doans. Looking forward to meeting you in person. Super chat from Rye the General. We keeping 5 safeties. Clark, Adams, Davis, Oliver, Key. Do we only go 4 there if we take 6 DBs? 6 receivers. Could we take less D-line? Good problems to have. Right. It's so early to answer this. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep 5 safeties. I think they probably keep 4. Right. But maybe. They could also try and stash guys who get hurt. 6 receivers. I mean, it depends how they feel about Herb Charles. Is he going to be the Justin Hardy of this team this year? Where, he's technically a receiver, but he's not going to actually play receiver. He's your gunner on punt returns, and he's out there on kickoff returns now. That's more important. I don't think they're going to take less on the D-line, though. They have a really good D-line. We know they're loaded up front. So it's a great question. It's certainly something worth exploring, but we're too early on. We haven't played any preseason games yet. Ladies and gentlemen, Dre, you can't be the one gifting memberships here as we're trying to get your emoji to be the emoji we need. But this is why Dre is one of the all-time greats.
He's going to die.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just, 12, so now 7 away from the Dre emoji. D-Mac, Simple Eats, Veterans Fitness, JR, Andrew Kennedy, you guys are all officially channel members. Let's go, Dre. We're getting your emoji done this show. I'm streaming until we hit the threshold. Gator writes in, Bobby shaved off his glowing personality. He snapped at me. He was the one who said to smell his pits. I was having some fun with him, saying he stinks. Bang Mateo with a super chat. NCAA 25 is great. I'm bringing Rutgers the prominence. Bang, I'm happy for you and your family. I really am. More calls right now. Arizona Jet is up next. What's up, Arizona Jet? Welcome back.
Hey, what's up, Jake? How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
It's been a while since I called in. I've been really busy, but yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this upcoming season. I'm actually going to go to the Arizona game in Glendale. And funny backstory on that, I'm going to my friend Dan, and he's a Packer fan. I actually met him on TikTok, but he's from Wisconsin. And before we got Aaron Rodgers, he was like so pissed off. Like all these Packer fans are just rooting for Aaron Rodgers to fail every time. So I actually flew up and I went to Denver with him. He flew, he's going to come with me to the Glendale game today, or not today, but when we play. And he's just coming with me so he could just see me in misery. So we lose. But I mean, we're gonna be kicking ass. Like all these Packers fans watching, and they're gonna be rooting for us to fail all year, just like all these sports people. Everybody in the offseason rooting for Aaron Rodgers to fail, and we're gonna prove a lot of people wrong, man. We're gonna win at least 12 games, and we're gonna kick ass this year.
12-5 AFC East champions.
Yeah, man. I just can't see how we're not gonna be 12-5. I mean, a lot of people are hoping that Aaron Rodgers isn't gonna be MVP Aaron Rodgers, but what you're seeing in the practices, they're going back and forth. I think the defense and the offense are really battling with each other right now.
Yep.
And there's iron sharpening iron. That's what I think is happening. And there's nothing to worry about. The Hassan Reddick stuff, I think he's going to sign. We're going to have a dominant defense. I'm excited about Breece Hall. I'm going to try to get him in my fantasy. I've been big up in Garrett and Breece. I'm really going to try to shoot to get these guys in fantasy football. But it's a funny thing when people are like, they know I'm a Jets fan, and they're like, I hope you aren't expecting to get Breece and Garrett in fantasy because we're going to like cut in front of you, and you're not going to be able to get these guys. But that's the funny thing for a Jets fan to hear somebody saying that they're not going to give me the opportunity to draft these players in fantasy. And I'm excited for that, man, because that's been a long time coming, man. Like, when's the last time you hear somebody say that, they're going to draft Jets players and they're not going to wait and they're going to reach for Jets players on top of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Jets have a lot of guys on fantasy you'd be intrigued by, including their defense, by the way. They should be one of the
defense, man,
better defenses.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about Quincy, man. Like, I think that I was a huge Quinnen Williams fan, but like lately, man, I've been big on Quincy Williams. I don't know, like in the Discord, I posted that Breece Hall jersey and Quincy Williams. I'm going to be rocking those jerseys all year long. And I got to get me a Garrett Wilson 5. I still don't have one yet, but man, like I want to be like Ricky, man. Like Ricky probably got like 50 jerseys, man. Like I'm just thinking in my mind, like I want every single jersey, and not to mention the shirts with the skulls on them, man. I got to get some of that. You got to get that in your merch store. Some of Ricky's skull shirt. I think those would be hot sellers. And even VR, man. Like if you could get VR to design some of your merch, man, that would fly off of the shelf, because those guys, man, they got like some of the best apparel, like that Jets fan related. Some of their like apparel, man, it's like, where do you get this stuff from? They're like rocking it out in NY. They're like, those guys are repping, like for real.
Yeah, great call, Arizona. I mean, we got the best we got the fans in sports, man. The best fans. I mean, this fan base is starving. And VR does have great style, I will say. We all know about Ricky's style. I wish Ricky would call in again. I know he said he won't call in until he gets to the bottom of his Wi-Fi issues, but there's something magical about a Ricky call where he's so excited to give takes and we can't hear a single one. Right? There's something special about that. Because Ricky's the man. So even though we can hear every other word typically, we still get the gist of what he's saying. That's the bottom line. Ladies and gentlemen, according to YouTube, we are one membership away for Dre to get his channel membership. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to gift the membership for Dre right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dre Emoji is about to be live. I'm going to go at it. One channel membership has been gifted. The reason why we are so fortunate is because Mike D's nuts did what he does. He dropped a 10 spot. How about it? Mike D's nuts.
Bang! Thank you, Mike D's nuts, for another gifted membership.
Let's go, baby. Here we go. Thank you, Nate Hackett. All right, here we go. We got 10 memberships that are about to be distributed right now for the people. First off, let me just get the one I gifted. So we got 11 I'll name. James Fitzpatrick, you've been a recipient of an Asmaniac membership from me. All right, how about 10 from Mike D's Nuts? The Professor, Rex Ryan. What's up, Coach? Frankie, C. Wannen, Kyle McLeod, Philip Rizak Jr., King Blaze, Dylan Bar 4, Powerball, CLS Smooth 512. You all are officially as Maniacs. But wait, we are not done. I'm seeing more memberships fly off the shelves. Bobby Midnight. Wow, I guess Bobby doesn't hate me anymore. That's good. Here's what we're going to do. Since Bobby gifted a membership, his second one of the show, I might add. Hit it.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Of course, the great Bob from Vermont. He's gifted a membership. It went to Frank, who received a membership. And then how about 5 more from King and Dreams? We got all the heavy hitters out today to support Dre. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 from K and D. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Appreciate it, K and D. Let's go. Anthony's Alley, FR, Kazi, Mark Riss, Alexander Brown. You guys are all officially as Maniacs. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I am pumped up. Let me go add the Dre emoji right now. Hold on. I'll let you guys know when it's live. Upload. Do this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dre emoji is, in fact, live. And joining us, hopefully, is Dre, who's driving right now, but he's going full Ricky NY on us right now with the Wi-Fi. Dre, are you there? Dre. Dre's gone. Well, Dre, when you call in, we'll put you right on. Bang Mateo with a super chat. Bang Mateo t-shirt and headband will sell like candy. I'll tell you what won't sell like candy. That idea. That will not work. All right. Also, Gator, I'm going to need you to update the hole. Right now, we only have 3 custom holes. Alan, Hawk. Actually, we have 4. Alan, Hawk, Gary, JJ. Then we have the generic one. I think it's time we update the hole to feature a Bang Mateo one. Because you know he's going to say some dumb crap throughout the year. You know it's coming. Mike D's Nuts says, Dre getting his emoji. That he is. Will Dre ever be able to call in, though? Who knows? More calls. B-Mac is up next. What's up, B-Mac? B-Mac?
Hey, Jake. I'm sorry.
Hey, B-Mac. Hey.
I wasn't prepared. You know what I mean? You never know. But, yes, good to see you. You know, this Rodgers preseason thing, I don't know. It's just a waste of time to talk about it. I mean, he's been playing for 20 years. You know what I mean? You know, if he wants to, great. If he doesn't, great. You know, he knows his body and he's going to be ready for week 1 either way. So, and then the one thing I want to say, like, I want to address something. Don't Chef know is did you saw his tweet yesterday and what he tweeted?
I did see it. Yeah, it was very misleading.
Yeah, like that is so unprofessional. Like you are a portal. Like why tweet something? You know, he said that he's recovering from his Achilles. He's way past the recovering point. You know what I mean? Like right now, he's a full ramp up goal in training camp right now. I don't know. I just thought it was very bitter, very unprofessional, and I think he was a salty because Rodgers called him out saying to lose his number. I don't know. Like Chef needs to do better than that.
Yeah. For those who missed it, Schefter tweeted like Aaron Rodgers recovering from his Achilles injury, unlikely to play in the preseason, according to Robert Saleh. The fact that he wrote like recovering from injury, it intimates that he's not fully healthy yet, which is not true, right? Aaron Rodgers hasn't missed a rep in training camp this summer. He's taken 100% of the snaps. He's not on a pitch count. They're not restricting his work like Tyron Smith, working him back. So when the guy who's got 15 million followers on X puts that out there, it intimates, oh, he's not 100% healthy. So it's misleading. Aaron is obviously healthy. So that's part of it. Now, what I'm going to do right now is Gator sent me a much better version of the Dre emoji. It's hard to produce, take calls, read chats, and all this as people are texting me nonsense right now, please. God, I got to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. group chat's going crazy here. So I'm going to update the Dre emoji, and it's a better emoji than the one that I had previously uploaded. So I'm doing that right now for Dre. That's loading. We will get that up. Trey says he's in a dead zone and can't call in. So hopefully he can call in by the end of the show. Let me check the super chats here. We are good. Keep it rolling right now. Let's see. More calls. Joe the Jet's on the line. Hello, Joe. Got it. Joe, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm sorry for the internet stuff out. I was just walking inside real quick. Hey, Jake, good to be on the show again. I want to talk about some of our rookie players and how they're playing so far. I'm happy to hear that Agent Zero, Braylon Allen, is having a heck of a camp. And I'm hearing Quantz Stiggers is really putting on a show a little bit. So the CFL guy is playing well. Is that right?
Stiggers has been impressive. Braylon Allen has been impressive. Malachi Corley, we showed the highlight at the beginning of the show today, is touchdown catch from Rodgers. They've all looked good so far.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm hyped about Corley as well. I was very interested to see, that one-handed catch he made the other day. I was wondering, I know you went live and we saw that catch live. I didn't even know it was inbounds, but it looked from a different angle. It was inbounds, but it's very cool to see these young playmakers making plays immediately. As of right now, it's very cool that we're getting more of guys that are contributing to win now compared to, we have to sit and wait and we'll see it and we develop them later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, especially after last year's class, right? Like you didn't get a whole lot of production from the rookie class. And now you're banking on Tippmann to take a big step in year 2. Will McDonald's going to have a much bigger role than he had last year. But you look at the Jets draft class a year ago, you didn't get much from Izzy. You didn't get much from Carter Warren, who was hurt. And then he finally had to play at the end of the year when the season was lost already. So this team could go to another level if they do get some big contributions from some members of this rookie class.
Yeah, no. Is Will McDonald making any noise at all in training camp? Because I haven't really heard a lot of his name lately in training camp. He's been very silent lately. I don't know if it's.
Saleh highlighted him today at the press conference, saying that he's looked good. He won some reps today, so it was a positive day for McDonald.
Okay, good. Because we want this guy to start to develop a little bit, sort of similarly how Jermaine Johnson sort of developed, so we can get that young edge presence for both guys. That would be a very good development plan right there if Will McDonald does develop.
100%. And until Hassan Reddick's here, Will McDonald is going to play a lot.
I gotta give my 2 cents on this Haason Reddick situation, and it's certainly probably one of the weirder situations in the NFL right now. I kind of expected us to just get him the contract. I mean, when we just traded him, but it's sort of weird how it's starting to linger on more and more and more as the days go by. I think if I'm going to give a prediction of when it's going to end, I probably think it's going to end probably after the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, and most likely. But if it does go longer than that, let's just say if it goes to week 2 of the preseason, that's when I start to panic a little bit, because that's when we're starting to think about the regular season a little bit. But as of right now, I'm not panicking too much, but the panic is still there, is starting to linger a little bit with the whole Haason Reddick thing.
There shouldn't be panic yet, all right? If he's not there by August 10th, their first preseason game, then I think it's notable. Until then, to me, it's something that is still going to get done. And I am surprised, to be honest, though, it hasn't gotten done by now, because once you got the report on Saturday when I was out at camp from Josina Anderson that the two sides were talking and they had positive talks, I figured, all right, they have the off day Sunday. That's the day you get a deal done. He's ready to start practicing Monday. That hasn't happened, so I still think something's going to get done soon, but I am surprised, to be honest, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy, but I'm going to get going. Thank you, Jake, and football's back tomorrow. Hall of Fame game, man. Let's go.
I love it, Joe the Jet. Appreciate you, man. A year ago, we were at that Hall of Fame game. Great call by Joe. By the way, the Dre emoji is live. Gator updated the one that I had ready to roll. He says the old one didn't match Dre's aura. I agree. This new one, though, this is what you want in a channel emoji right here, right? Which one's better? The old one or the new one? That one. Way better. Shout out the Gator. The GOAT. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Another person just RSVP'd for our training camp meetup. It is 1 week from tonight. Only 50 total spots. We have, I think, less than 10 remaining. So if you're coming out, RSVP, it's going to be a great night. Even if you can't stay long, stop by. We'll have free appetizers for Jet fans who want to hang out. And $25 for an all-inclusive meal. It's BYOB. It's going to be a great night. Family-owned restaurant. You're supporting a Jet family business. Nick Mangold and Sexy Rexy are regulars there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And reminder, T-Squared Social, August 17th. RSVP if you're coming to the party of all parties for every Jet fan. Mr. K says, how do you RSVP? The links to RSVP are in the description for this video you're watching right now. That easy to RSVP. I have posted about it in the chat. I will do it again just to make sure everyone is on the same page. We got 2 events coming up. One's next Wednesday. One is on August 17th. One's a hangout. One's a watch party. K&D says, VBiz Cartel is home. This is above my pay grade, King of Dreams, but I'm happy if you're happy. Let's see. Salvatore, hey, Jake, do you have any extra tickets for Saturday? I don't, unfortunately. If anyone does come across extra tickets, please let me know, and I'll try and get them in the hands of Jet fans in need. Carmen writes in, hey, Jake, I didn't know not to buy your own stickers, just trying to support. No, Carmen, you are supporting the show. I was just pointing out to you that typically people, instead of doing like a $4.99 super sticker, because no one really knows what that is, they just gift a membership or a super chat. But either way, man, I appreciate your support from you and your wife, whether her name is Marianne or Marilyn, whatever we decided on. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're going on, I think, we did 2 hours earlier, another 90 minutes here. I mean, training camp is back. The shows are longer. Plenty of content to discuss. I appreciate all of you. And reminder, I'm not done. I got 3 hours of national radio tonight, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. Can't wait. Tom Ace writes in, people on the streets are saying the August 17th meetup is the party of the century. I've heard the same thing. I've heard the same exact thing. Tom says the new Dre emoji feels right. I could hear Dre's whisper with it. I agree. I completely agree. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. K&D says, bro is pronounced Vibes Cartel. Come on, B. I don't know what you're talking about, K&D. I have no idea what this is in reference to. I'm doing a Jet show right now. I see the flag on the other super chat. Did something happen in the Olympics? Because I have no idea. I saw Team USA basketball whip South Sudan today. Arizona Jet says, draft a quarterback every year till Rodgers retires. Why are we worried about this right now, Arizona Jet? Can we sit back and enjoy the fact that we have Aaron Rodgers for this year and next year? And he's all in and wants to play? I don't disagree with you. I don't make it clear. Like, the fact that the Jets took Jordan Travis doesn't mean they can't draft a quarterback next year. Let's make that abundantly clear. That said, I'm not really concerned about that. Back to your calls we go. I asked for this guy to call back in so we could clear the air because he snapped at me earlier, and quite frankly, I don't think it was very fair.
Well, you know, I need to walk more to survive unless Jake is going live. Gotta elevate my leg on Bobby.
What? You don't call people stink at all on the show. You call me stinky. I washed up. I put the Rona on. You embarrassed me.
No, I didn't. I was joking with you, and you got all butthurt and offended, Bobby. That's what happened. You said you haven't washed your... You said, do I want to smell your pits? And I jokingly said, no, you stink, you smell, and played the he stinks drop
I
that I played.
told you I put deodorant on. I washed up. That's all I could do right now.
But then you said, do I want to smell your pits? So I made a joke and you got mad. I think we need to get on the same page here.
Okay, we're on the same page. Okay, I was trying to bring Jet talk up, and then you say I'm stink. I was telling. I think Aaron Rodgers.
You really think I was calling you stinky as you sit there and wear a Jake Asman show shirt that I sent you?
I guess so. You said it. Okay, so
you're the one who says everyone's smelly. So I joke and say, you stink. I don't want to smell your pits. And all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy, Bob. You're cranky today. Stop getting mad at me. All right. I'm your friend. This is what friends do. All right. We banter. We have fun. We go back and forth. You're getting too soft on us, Bob from Vermont. I don't like this.
I'm not cranky. I was bringing that Jet talk today. I think
couldn't hear you, though. You also had some mic issues, too. That was part of the problem.
I think Aaron Rodgers looked good with his arm. He's not old. He looks, for 40, he looks damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And people put him down still. I think, what's his name? Doesn't have an IQ of a sock. Kellen Cowherd. He doesn't know when Derek Jeter played baseball, so he better get his IQ going. Because I knew that. He never played with Nolan Ryan.
Hey, Bobby.
What?
You know what I think of Colin Cowherd?
Yeah, that's
he
me
stinks.
too. Yes, he stinks like me, okay? How's that? Yeah, that's him, yeah. He tells he doesn't have any he doesn't have an IQ. I wouldn't talk if I was him.
Mm-hmm.
He has an IQ of a sock. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And so there's Chris Canty, Mike Francesca.
Mm-hmm.
And who else is thrown in the pit? You put that in that crazy hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you put I like Boy Green's father. Is he still in there?
I don't know.
I hope not. He's a great guy. You haven't talked to him?
Also, what does it mean to go fly a kite? What did you mean by that?
Well, I wanted to be nice. I was not going to say a bad word, so go fly kite. That's nicer. So, okay, I'm sorry that I got offended too early.
Yeah, I'm on your side, Bobby.
I'm on your side, too.
That's good.
I'm wearing the stuff that you brought me.
Yeah, show the shirt off. You're one of the few that bought that shirt when it first came out. Look at it.
No, you bought it for me. I didn't buy nothing. You gave it to me.
You know what I mean.
Well, you gave it to me. I didn't buy it. I do when I get my money from YouTube. I'm going to buy that polo shirt. That looks good. I like polo shirts. You know I like polo shirts. I wear those red ones and blue ones and green ones. Yeah, I love polo shirts.
Yeah.
I like to dress snazzy.
You got to fix your mic situation before the Bobby show starts today, Bobby.
And I think, guess what I'm going to do?
Fix your mic before the Bobby show starts today?
Yeah, and then I'm going to be getting better for that August 17th.
Oh.
I think I'm going to get ready. Once I see what happens at the wound clinic, what they say, see how long I'm going to be there, right? Every day they take care of me. When I go see them, I see how long. We got like 3 weeks left, right? About.
Are you going to RSPU to the event on the 17th?
I already did, remember?
Ah.
Yeah, you told me to. I did.
Did you RSVP or RSPU, as you said?
Oh, PU. That went over my head. Okay, I'm getting crazy. How's that sound better?
It's all right. I think it still sounds a little off. Maybe try unplugging and reconnect it when you're done.
Yeah, that's probably what I have to do. Reconnect. That's what she said. No, I'm okay. That's what Nick says all the time. Okay. I got my shoes from Nick and Leanie and who else? Chipped I forgot. There's another person.
You got the
but
shoes?
Guess what? Guess what? They don't fit right now because my legs are wrapped up. I tried them on.
Mm-hmm.
I have diabetic shoes. I bought them the other day, but they still don't fit. So with the wrapping of the legs, so the legs
better soon, Bobby.
The legs look better. They're shrinking. That's good news.
Good. Keep elevating your leg.
Yes, I am. I'm elevating my leg.
Great.
Okay, do it sound better now?
Not great.
Okay, I'll check it before I go on my show.
All right.
Are you going to join me on my show, or are you going to take a nap?
I have to get ready for my show tonight on Sirius, so if I could stop by, I'll try.
I'm going to try to make your show if I don't doze off. 10
All right.
o'clock. That's what time he usually dozing off at 10.
Bobby,
All right.
You don't
What?
have to call in tonight. All right. Go to bed. Get better. You're
Yeah,
fine.
I know, right? Well, I need to
Yes.
do a show before that. Okay.
All right.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Great
Bye
hat you
now.
have on.
Well, you bought it for me too.
Yeah.
Carly, and guess what else Carly said I'm getting? She's mailing.
What is she sending you?
What did she send Decker?
A teddy bear?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what she told me. I don't know if I'm getting it. But you guys are always good to me.
All right, Bob.
Okay. Do you want me to take the sticker off or leave it on?
Whatever your heart desires.
Okay. Well, does it look good or should I take it off?
Well, the chat will let you know what to do, all right?
Okay, I'll go in chat. You be
All right.
good, guys. I'll see you soon.
You too, Bob.
Well, you know I need to walk more to survive unless Jake is going live. Gotta elevate my leg on Bobby.
What a call from Bobby Midnight. I told you, he snapped at me. We're on the same page. Bobby calls everyone smelly, so I said he stinks, and he thought I was embarrassing him. Dre with a super chat. Thank you to all who gifted memberships towards my Dre Emoji. Shout out to Mike D's Nuts and Jake for carrying us over the goal line. Dre, you do not need to thank me, man. Thank King and Dreams, Mike D's Nuts. So many people gifted channel memberships this show. It was awesome. I'm glad we got it done for you. Big fella. Bobby Midnight gifted a couple. You deserve it, Dre. Long overdue. It was an oversight issue on my end that we didn't have it done sooner. All right, we're going to wrap up here shortly. So last chance to get in on the show. I want to get to this guy who's been on hold. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Best. Hello, Keith.
Oh, my God. You should have me on with Bobby. At least he's got
I don't know if we can handle that.
I don't know either. But I don't know if you can see that. That's a T-shirt.
Wow.
As Maniac Best with emoji. I'm saying it correctly now. Emoji.
Yeah. I actually prefer you to say it as Edgemo though at this point.
Edgemo? Yeah.
Yeah.
But here was the process of the front of the shirt. It says, well, hold on a minute. I don't know if you can see that.
Jets as Maniac. Yep, looks
Right,
good.
and I wanted the Jets to be like as Maniac, and she said there was a copyright infringement, and that's a friend of my sister, sister's, Heather from Rush Order Tees in Philadelphia. So she says I can't use that, and I was just. She said it's copyright infringement, so I said whatever. So she just did in block letters, and that's coming down here. And thank you for sending me 2 shirts down. I saw the Black Jake Asman show shirt, and the second one. I forget what it was.
I can't wait to see you rock it on the show.
Yeah, but when you watch, I've been hospitalized the last couple of days, so I haven't been able to get on here. But the value of life sometimes kicks you in the ass, But I got good doctors, but they're very expensive though, and I can't afford them. But I'm blessed that I was able to get on here today, and even sitting backstage is fine. But I watch these practices now that I'm home and I'm not in the hospital. You couldn't watch any of this stuff in the hospital, but I think I boldly will stick to my prediction. We're going to be 15-2. And the more I see these practices like this with the young kids and all that stuff, I just think, we are going to go all the way, and I just, I know we have to, we have to win the AFC East and all that stuff, but, yeah, I don't know where they're at. But anyway, I'm getting talked to by 3 different people at the same time. But
you're good, Keith. I'm glad you called in. The vibes are high with the Jets. Rodgers was dicing up, folks. Bobby Midnight took a shower today. All is well.
Look, I got my Jet. I got my.
Is Keith mooning us again? Here we go.
No, we don't. I'm trying to show my ass off. I'm just showing that I got my. This is the shirt you guys.
Here we go, Keith. This is for you.
Calm your freaky down.
No, I got my Jets jersey on today. So
The Keith Best #1 jersey. We love it.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Everybody asked me, like in the hospital and stuff, like, what player is that? And I was like, it's me.
Like, I am on the team.
Yeah, right. Crazy. Even when I go shopping at Publix, people are like, "Oh, I had my Aaron Rodgers jersey on in Publix the other day." Publix is the grocery store chain down here, and some guy walks up to me and he says, "Do you really think he's going to play that is he going to really play good this year?" And I said, "Well, we'll see." But listening to everybody, listening to Nick earlier, listening, everybody, it's just, you never had so much passion in your life as what's going on this year. I've been doing this a long time, and, just a passion, and we got to come up with an emoji for, when Klecko and Gastineau, they called them the sack exchange back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We have to come up with an emoji for the defensive line,
We tried this last year to come up with a nickname. We never were able to get anything concrete. We had a bunch of listeners submit names, and we never settled on one thing.
I'm sure Gator will come up with something.
He is creative. It's tough. What the Green Goblins, I remember, was one of the names. I forget what all they were, but I do remember we did this as a topic on the show a lot last summer. We never settled on anything.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough out of me, and you can get on to. I know you have to go to work, so.
Well, Keith, I appreciate
being able to get on here, Jake. Thanks for having me on.
Keith, it's our pleasure. Love hearing from you. Keep us updated on your health. We're all pulling for you. Can't wait to see you in December. K&D, he goes, bleep, I'm driving. I want to talk to Keith. We all want to talk to Keith. Keith's the man. Purple Belt Mike, who's your favorite co-host that you worked with on 98.7? Ooh, this is tough. I really had fun working with Dave last week for the first time. But, I've had a good experience with everyone I've worked with. I'm working with Maria on Friday again. I've worked with Ty. I've worked with Grassa before last summer. So I work with whoever. I just, I want a job. I want shifts. Sign me up. All right. I want to be full-time. All right. As much as I love doing, radio tonight till 1 a.m. and then doing morning drive on Friday, a little more set schedule wouldn't be the worst thing in the world ahead of football season. But grateful for all the opportunities. It's so funny. Like, you guys know me as a YouTube guy. I had a 10-year radio career before I ever did YouTube, which I always laugh at. Oh, how do you get these guests or this or that? It's like, I've been in the business a while already. All right. I did afternoon drive in Houston for 3 years. It's the 4th biggest city in the country. Mark says, got to play Family Feud on Friday. Yeah, well, Rothenberg won't be there, so we can't rig the game again. What a bunch of nonsense that was last Tuesday, Mark. Thank you. Tom writes in, question, will it get freaky in the 1 a.m. hour? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm off the air at 1, Tom, so I don't know who's on after me tonight. I think it's a re-air of my first hour. It might get freaky in the 12 a.m. hour, all right? No guarantees.
Calm your freaky
down. Comments, questions, super chats. Last chance to get in. We've added 53 members this show. We got a new emoji for Dre. I love it. How about this for an AI breakdown of the chat? And Cincy Matt emailed me this too. I'm just going to read. This is what the AI recap of the chat is saying we're talking about. Viewers are discussing Bobby. Some think he stinks and is soft, while others defend him. They also discuss Jake and Carly and wonder if Jake's recent moodiness is because Carly is late. Carly wasn't late to anything. I don't even know what that means. That is a great AI chat right there. I'll tell you that much. Mr. K says, how about smacking the like button? Well, there's 221 people watching live right now. Click the thumbs up button, and you're ready to roll. Arizona Jet says, I like the New Jersey. I think everyone likes the New Jersey. I mean, they're the old jerseys, other than the black one. I mean, the one Keith's wearing, I guess, is new, so that's fair. But the Jets went from having arguably the worst uniforms in sports over the last 5 years to now, even they got the throwback right, which it's crazy that that's considered the throwback, but the all white, the Pennington Sanchez era jerseys they're wearing against the Bills, like that looks great too. Tom Ace, the AI recap said it all. Tom, I can't wait to see you at the 50-yard line on Saturday. I got Tom a ticket to training camp on Saturday so he could save me 50-yard line seats because he gets there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, ready to roll. Tom Ace, a legend. Carly writes in, who am I seeing Saturday at camp? Tom Ace. Ricky says, got to get back to work later, everyone. Ricky, what's the deal with the Wi-Fi? When's it going to be fixed? We need you. There's nothing like the Ricky NY Wi-Fi. Richard Todd says, I missed the whole episode. Is Bobby getting freaky again? No. Bobby's been good today. Carmen writes in, Jake going to take my Marion to dinner for her birthday. I thought her birthday was yesterday. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Simple Eats, Fireman Ed emoji would go crazy. We will have a Fireman Ed emoji in due time. For those who missed the announcement the other day, Fireman Ed will be a weekly on the show during the football season, every Friday. Fridays with Fireman Ed. Fireman Ed, Fridays. Chicken Jenkins, is AVT participating a lot, and does he look solid? Yeah, he's been out there. He's back. He's healthy. He feels good. He's played well. It's interesting listening to Rodgers' comments about the offensive line. Today he said Joe Tippmann has all-pro potential. AVT, he has said previously this summer, is an all-pro in waiting. We know how good Morgan Moses already is. He's an established vet. John Simpson has looked good. He's better than what they had last year with Laken Tomlinson. I think you combine the additions with what they have in place. I don't need to tell you how good Tyrant is. He's a Hall of Famer. This offensive line has a chance to be really good. Best it's been since 2010. Duncan says, surprise cut, surprise ad. Tariq Cohen, I think, could be a surprise ad making the team. Surprise cut could be Clemens. What if Tack McKinley beats him out? I'm not sold on Michael Clemens. 100% guaranteed spot on the team. I don't know. I don't think he's guaranteed a spot. Things happen. So we'll see. We'll see. Morning, Woody. We need a Jake flying a kite emoji. God. I love it. Tom says, for Nick's next guest appearance, Freaky with Faria. Terrence says, Fireman Ed and Boy Green on Fridays. Yes, that is the plan. We'll have Will on as a weekly. Nick will be a weekly. And I got some other things I'm working on too. Fialco will be a weekly. Cincy Matt says, when is someone picking up Justin Simmons? Bengals need him. I don't know when he's being picked up. I don't know what his market is. Obviously, he wants more money than what's been offered. That's why he's a free agent in late July. Big fella, is Jeff Parles coming back this season? Yes. Jeff's schedule is a little bit in flux right now, so we can't lock in a set time, but Jeff will join us. If not weekly, he'll be a regular contributor. Tom says, Ben Franklin flew a kite and we got electricity out of it. He also did not invent the printing press. Michael K. was getting hammered for saying he did on the broadcast the other night. And that turned out to not be true. Leave the K-Star alone. Even if he hates Rodgers, which, I'm just saying. Let's see. All right. I think we're good here. Mr. K. Hey, guys, it was a pleasure. Have a great night. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets. All right. Thank you, Mr. K. I guess you're leaving. See you later. Final reminder. All right. Merch store. JakeAsman.com. Join the Patreon if you want 15% off. Basically pays for itself. We're not done. Super Chats always cut the line. Arizona Jet, pick one offense and defensive player to take us far. I mean, I could just say Aaron Rodgers, but I feel like it's too easy. I'll say Garrett Wilson. I think right now when you look at this receiver room, while you have a chance for guys to emerge, if they suffered an injury to Garrett Wilson, it would be devastating because we don't know yet what Mike Williams is. We think he'll be good. We think he'll be ready for the start of the NFL season. But I think Garrett Wilson is the most important player on this offense besides, obviously, Rodgers. And then defensively, I would say this team is built on the fact that they have a dominant defensive line, and I think Quinnen is such a catalyst for that because of his presence up the middle. He wrecks games. He commands double teams. He frees up guys on the edge like Bryce Huff last year, like Jermaine Johnson, to get one-on-one pass rushing reps. I think him or Sauce are the two most indispensable players on the defense. So make your pick. All right, we're not ending the show because this guy finally has reception. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since his emoji was added for all the Asmaniacs, we bring on a guy who has quite the guarantee for Brock Purdy when the Jets open the year on Monday Night Football.
Is Brock Purdy going to run for his life on the opener? Fuck yeah! He's going to die. Let's go. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
Yeah, hit the Dre emoji. He's here. What's up, Dre?
What's going on, Jake, my brother? I'm moved. I am so moved. Like, I don't even know what to do. I'm over here. I was racing home. It started raining, and I was like, I ain't got time for rain. We got to keep it moving. And I finally got close enough to where I know I have good signal here. I pay for good phone service. I'm not JJ, so I gotta have the good Wi-Fi and everything like that. But I am blown away by all the support and all the love. I love my emoji, and that's true. My selection for the emoji was definitely the second one. Gator did some magic with that one, for real.
He did. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm. But just want to say, peace and love to all my fellow Asmaniacs. I know we're going crazy because football just started, but we got to keep the energy up and be excited. But now is not the time to be worried about. Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about Reddick. Don't worry about whether or not Aaron's going to play in the preseason. Like, Gary's really trying to make something. He's trying to make this be a thing. Oh, we play less preseason games, so it means that, the quarterbacks are now getting hit. You can't correlate that. Gary is not the one to make that correlation. And to be honest, I'd rather have more regular season games than preseason games. Maybe one or two, but everybody really gets there. We work the rest out in actual, with practice with your teammates, maybe a joint practice or two. And the Patriots did this all the time. Like, the Patriots used training camp to figure out who was making the team. So they worried about the other players, the filler players, to fill out the roster. The Patriots always started slow, but 9 times out of 10, they would then come on and then they'd hit their stride mid-season, and they'd be on full tilt during the postseason, and that's when it matters. So even if we start a little slow, trust and believe. Aaron Rodgers, I'm praying, what I was trying to say in my super chat from the last show, I just want to see this. I want to see Aaron Rodgers just kind of lose his shit. Maybe he yells at Hackett, he yells at somebody, and then all of a sudden he just screams and then goes full Super Saiyan, goes blonde, starts glowing, and then goes and takes a field. Because I'm telling you, scorched earth Aaron Rodgers It's nothing to F with. And then the whole NFL is going to know. At that point, everybody's going to know. On prime time, be like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. They had Breece. They had Garrett. They have these receivers. They have this defense. And now that Aaron Rodgers, and he's angry, we're dropping 60 points on everybody. And there might be teams that we beat 60-0. And, you know, they're going to put in a mercy rule that as soon as you get a 40-point lead, they call the game, they refund the tickets to the fans, you know, especially if it's an away game. It's like home game, I'll pay for that. They sent us home by halftime because we were winning 40-0, and then I said we don't need to see no more. I'd be okay with that. I walk home hella happy. But if I was in an away game and we stomped out, you know, as the road team, we stomped out the home team 40-0, and then they said I'd be like, hey, I know you must be mad, but hey, it's your fault. Get a better team. Our team is the best.
Dre.
Yes.
You're on 28 touchdown island for Garrett Wilson, right?
I live there now. I get my mail there.
All right.
I'm doing my taxes.
Here's one of the 28. You let me know if you want to count this. You might need it. Here we go. Yeah.
That's awesome. But that's just practice. That's just see they got to work out the kinks for the touchdown dance. So we it's all regular season touchdowns. I'm telling you. He's going to score 3 a game. It's going to be sick. We've never seen anything like it.
From your lips to God's ears.
Look at that. Oh, my God. That was like that all season long. Let's go.
Dre, congrats on your emoji, or as Keith Best would call it, your own Edgemo.
Tell Keith I appreciate it. Every time I see Keith, I just smile ear to ear because I hope that he gets to see. I'm going to be so happy to see him watch this Super Bowl run that we're about to be on, and he's going to be beaming ear to ear like it's something he's waited for his whole life. And I can see him fulfill a dream. Then I'm happy. I'll be good with that.
I love it. Dre, you are the man. Congrats on the Edgemo, the emoji. What a great way to end the show. Dre getting enough Wi-Fi to call in. Since he met, any news on Carter? We covered this at the top. Robert Saleh said it's not serious. They're not concerned about Michael Carter, who left practice today limping due to some sort of ankle injury. So that's good news there. All right. Hit the like button on your way out of here. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. We are back tomorrow. We're going to have a bit of a later show than we normally do in the morning, probably 11:30 around noon. We'll have someone who's at practice join us in the late afternoon like Faria did today to recap everything. So we still got great content coming your way twice a day on this channel. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, spread the word. The place where you get the most comprehensive Jets coverage each and every day is right here on this YouTube channel. Thanks to all the Asmaniacs. Thanks to everyone who sent in a super chat, gifted a membership, called in, tunes into the show. Couldn't do it without you. Reminder, please, RSVP, less than 10 spots left for the meetup next Wednesday night in East Hanover. RSVP if you're coming to T-Squared Social. Check out the merch store if you want swag. Thank you all for your incredible support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. I will talk to you guys soon. Jets. 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 Jets.
He's dying to come back on the show.
Let me get in my chair first. I'm getting pissed off by the heck. I'm trying to get into my damn chair, dummy. There's my orange chair I'm going to sit in.
All right, dear God, let this chair hold.
Hey, shut up. I've been sitting in all. Oh,
Bob, what's in the blue storage bins? More chairs?
the clothes and all that, Nick.
No.
Where do you keep your underwear, Nick? Ah, God damn it. I'm just pissed off.
Voice of an angel comes in to save the day.
Yeah. Hi, Sarah.
Oh,
You got your wish, Jake, okay?
Bobby, when the sun goes down in a little while, I'm going with my 69-year-old girlfriend to take a walk on the beach in Palm Beach. I'm 60, she's 69. I love hanging out with her.
You like the older women? You like the cool?
I don't like those ones in
Bobby.
Calm your freaky down.
Bobby, you can't ask Keith if he likes cougars. Come on.
I know, but she's 9 years older than him. I'm only kidding, Keith.
You know, when you sing New York, New York, I want you to go back and play the post 9/11 game at Shea Stadium when Liza Minnelli came out on the field to sing New York. I asked Jake to make a video to Edgemo you in with your face with Liza kicking her legs up with the police officers holding her by her arms.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York.
Yeah, I'll do that.